In this clip, Harsha Bhogle is talking about Instagram. See if you can figure out the first habit we can learn from him.
Originally, I wasn't on Instagram because I thought it was all about taking your own pictures. And I don't have a good angle.
Harsha's focus in conversation is to make himself feel good. Most people enter a conversation thinking whether the other person will like them. Instead, try to enter a conversation thinking about what would make you feel good. Sometimes that can mean focusing on having fun early in a conversation like this.
Opportunity to speak with an ornament of the game. And today is one of those. So
Where I'm looking around.
When your priority is fun and feeling good in conversation, you will naturally adopt behaviors of charming people, like speaking through a smile.
Or just maybe, and I'm hoping for just maybe, you might find them still fresh.
Watch here and notice that when he's speaking, you can't help but smile.
So from time to time, dream and ask yourself, what is it that is unimaginable? Don't do that when you've had a couple of drinks, because then you'll dream the wrong things.
Now, the most confident speakers are masters of directing focus. We all have a tendency to assign importance to what we focus on, which means when you speak, you can direct your listeners' focus to what's important. Now, as he's talking about Ravi Shastri here, watch how he speeds through it because that's not his main point.
I was standing behind. I said, Ravi, give me one moment. You're getting all of the big moments.
And then as he's speaking about Yuvraj Singh here, notice how he slows down.
I thought Yuvraj, the bowler, made the whole difference to the side.
When you try to direct somebody's focus as you speak, two things will happen. Your own focus will shift to your body and voice, which takes away your focus from your own internal feelings of nervousness and anxiety. And you will make yourself more prominent in conversation, because of which people will perceive you as more confident. The habits I'm going over in this video can be tough to remember, so I've made a short free PDF guide that you can download from the link in the description if you want to remember these habits and make them easier to implement. But in addition to your voice, you can also direct focus using your gestures to guide people's focus.
As a result, you were playing a batter at number 7, and that batter won you a crucial quarterfinal game against Australia. So you increased your batting depth because someone in the top order bowled.
You know what? I've played 25 test matches. Yea, you all, behold, come listen to the oracle.
Guiding focus like that is going to be extremely helpful when you tell core stories. Core just represents the 4 steps of telling a good story. Step 1 is context, where you describe the physical location of where your story is set. Step 2 is obstacles, where you highlight where something went wrong to create tension in your story.
Every single thing that could go wrong on the telecast went wrong. Every single thing. Engineering collapsed, sound collapsed. I'm saying, right, let's go and meet somebody, and someone else is coming up.
Step 3 is reliving the moment, to demonstrate what was happening using your voice and body language.
So suppose you're singing Sound of Silence. Here goes. And there's actually someone else singing.
But the final step here is the most important, which is the emotional undertone of your story. Emotional undertones make your story relatable. Most people tell drinking or travel stories, which are the most boring types of stories. That's because a story is not a series of cool events that happen one after the other. Heart of a story is about an emotional change in your character. And if you are talking about yourself, the character is you. Watch here and notice how Harsha describes his experience in IIM Ahmedabad.
Cost accountants in the room, and there were people who'd worked for 2 years in L&T, in telco, and all these places, and they were so bright. And I thought, I've lost my way here. My only thing there was, I don't want to be sent back home. Because my father was so excited that I'd got into IIM. My mother was. Everyone was very excited.
He did not just say that other people were better than him or more experienced than him. He brought it back to an emotion, which is that he didn't feel like he belonged and that he didn't want to go home. Instead of an emotional core, your story can also have a moral like this.
I don't know if you know this story, but when Indian players, after they won, I think it was a T20 World Cup or one of them, when they got a big bonus for winning it, the players and the coach got the bonus, and there was a slightly lesser amount for the support staff. And Rahul Dravid said, no, I'm support staff. And he refused the higher amount because he said the coach is support staff, the coach is not a lead.
But there is one thing which is underneath all the habits we've discussed in today's video, and it is perhaps the most important thing. That is dealing with low self-esteem. Low self-esteem is the biggest reason why so many people lack confidence.
And my 2 closest friends were low self-esteem and low confidence in myself.
One sign of low self-esteem is worrying about avoiding pain instead of seeking joy.
When I was batting, I was always worried about the ball that would get me out.
This is why advice that focuses only on external communication skills or articulation is incomplete, because those behaviors without internal emotional integration will make you feel like a fraud, and you will feel like you are just performing for people and it's not who you are. Low self-esteem will also constantly make you worried about what can go wrong, even if your concerns are hypothetical.
When I was bowling, I was always wondering where the batter's going to hit me.
Said differently, you will constantly find yourself worrying about failure and rejection.
How many of you are afraid of failing? Correct.
There is one type of failure and rejection that people don't talk about, which is where you reject yourself. You don't ask out the person you're attracted to because you think they will say no. You don't apply for the job because you think you're not experienced or qualified enough. You don't speak up when you know you should because you think people will not listen. To start solving this and building self-esteem today, start with self-assertiveness. State your preferences, where you would normally differ from somebody else. It can be simple as stating what you want to do, like choosing a restaurant when you go out, or it can be disagreeing with the group. Even if others don't agree or listen, don't worry about it, because you have already started building your self-esteem. Now, building your self-esteem also requires identifying which of the 5 levels of confidence you are at right now. If you'd like to know which level you are at and how you can get to the next level, watch this video.